The holidays and the festivities are finally over, people. It's finally over. The WWE can now finally give us a fresh start. Or at least what I hope is a fresh start. I don't know how many of you watched Monday Night Raw last night. I don't know how many of you need to still catch up on what happened with Raw last night, but I did catch the majority of the show. And from what I seen last night, it was not that bad of a show. And before you jump down my throat and ask me why I thought that, the one thing that stood out to me was it looked like there was some sort of direction with what they wanted to do with the show. And as far as that goes, I can actually appreciate that. Show started off last night right to the point with a steel cage match, Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. We had a fresh start, even though I'm sick of them, a fresh start battle royal in which Apollo Cruz looked really good. And I don't know why they opted to give him a championship match that same night, but he actually won a Intercontinental Championship opportunity and got that opportunity in the same night against Dean Ambrose. And it looked like Triple H and Seth Rollins brought us back to the days when he turned heel and he turned on the Shield. We got Triple H in what I think is their push to legitimize and bring back the old Seth Rollins, being that we all know that he's damaged goods right now because of WWE's obsession with pushing Roman Reigns. And in the crossfire was Seth Rollins and his major push. And all that momentum that he had at the beginning of the year wasted for Roman Reigns. Now WWE is giving us, I guess, a look into what could possibly be with Seth Rollins winning the Royal Rumble and going on to finally being the Beast Slayer. Not just the King Slayer, but the Beast Slayer at WrestleMania. Raw wasn't bad. Raw wasn't that bad of a show. Like I mentioned, they had some sort of direction for last night's Monday Night Raw to close out 2018. By the way, it's no coincidence that I'm wearing a Kenny Omega t-shirt. You know, I know a lot of people want me to dive into this All Elite Wrestling stuff that happened at the change of the new year. Happened early in the morning. I woke up to it. I didn't really think much of it last night. But I woke up to it, and I want to give you my opinion on what I seen with the latest episode of Being the Elite. I'm happy for Matt and Nick Jackson. I really am. I'm happy for Cody. I'm happy for Hangman Page. They're doing something that they love in the industry that they love. And it's great to see someone who takes a chance on themselves and has such support from all over the place to be successful. And I absolutely love that. And I don't think they're going to immediately be competition for WWE. In fact, I don't want them to be competition for WWE. I want them to do their own thing. Because the last time someone wanted to compete directly with the WWE, look at Impact. Look at what they did when they moved to Monday nights under the Bischoff-Hogan regime. They got slaughtered. That's not what we need to be doing here in 2019. That's not what the vision should be. Oh, let me put a bunch of wrestlers together and create a promotion. We're going to compete with the WWE. No. No. They need to remain themselves. They need to do what they've always done. And that is bring their brand of professional wrestling, their vision of professional wrestling, an extension of what we've seen at All In. And they need to do that on a much larger scale. And it's not going to get done if they have WWE in their sights. Fuck the WWE. The WWE has their own fucking issues. If All Elite Wrestling can give us an alternative product that gives us that fun that is sorely missing in professional wrestling, a seriousness that is sorely missing in professional wrestling, a sports-like atmosphere and a sports-like feel to professional wrestling that is sorely missed and sorely needed, that's all they need to do. And with the financial backing that they have and a hopeful TV deal, because none of this is going to be as big as we want it to be or as big as we expect it to be without a TV deal. They need a TV deal, and I'm pretty sure a TV deal is coming. I'm pretty sure they're already in talks for a TV deal. And I hope that they get it. But All Elite Wrestling cannot worry about what WWE is doing. I love that there's going to be an alternative. I love that there's going to be another place for pro wrestlers to go when they are wasted and neglected and disgruntled with the WWE. Look at half of the Monday Night Raw roster. Look at the WWE roster in general. Guys like Finn Balor and guys like The Revival and guys like The Ascension and Zack Ryder and Dolph Ziggler, which I'll get to in a second because they buried him last night. That is a great thing for guys like that who have been absolutely fucking wasted by WWE. I can't wait to see what is announced. I can't wait to see what they do. And I think it's going to be a great thing for professional wrestling. You know, they cite that they want to change the world. Great. They got a lot of support in doing so. The one thing that really stuck out to me, though, after watching Being the Elite last night, has to do with Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega was in the intro, as always, part of the show. But with the countdown clock that they built throughout the video where they all congregated in front of the Tokyo Dome, and the announcement of All Elite Wrestling was made, and Double or Nothing was made, there was one man missing from that big celebration. There was one man missing from that big announcement, and that was Kenny Omega. Now, I don't know what's going on with Kenny Omega. I don't know. I don't know. But the simple fact that he wasn't in that little circle when the announcement was made is very telling. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to WWE. I'm not saying that he's going to be the man. But this is, and I've stated this several times, and I stated this on Off the Script this past weekend. You know, it's an idea out there. I don't think WWE is going to go ahead with it, but it's an idea that AJ Styles in this Vince McMahon storyline that they're building up on SmackDown Live to bring out AJ Styles probably means nothing. A new AJ Styles, a more ferocious AJ Styles, it probably means nothing. Probably means a match with Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. Hint, hint. But I don't think AJ Styles is going to take the WWE Championship back from Daniel Bryan. The whole reason why he dropped it was because he didn't want it. He didn't want it anymore. He didn't want the responsibility. He wants a part-time schedule. But my idea that I talked about was maybe AJ Styles somehow, if he fights Bryan or not, I'm not going to reveal spoilers here for SmackDown Live tonight. But what if he finds his way into the Royal Rumble, wins the Royal Rumble, goes on to challenge Brock Lesnar, becomes the face of Raw? What do you do with him then? What do you do with him then? Vince McMahon's always wanted him on Raw. There's been reports of Vince wanting AJ on Raw. But is WWE going to build a brand and a company around a 41, 42-year-old AJ Styles? The answer is no. The answer is no. But he's a big enough name where he can be the face of a brand. I don't give a shit how old you are. They could certainly turn him into that. But I don't think they're going to go that route. But if you're bringing AJ Styles over from SmackDown Live onto Monday Night Raw as your Universal Champion, it's a great way to get the belt off Brock. It's a great way to transition that title to AJ and then AJ to someone else. And I mentioned if WWE is bringing AJ Styles or potentially bringing AJ Styles to Raw, if he finds himself in the Royal Rumble, what better way than to bring in Kenny Omega, sign Kenny Omega, and the feud for Monday nights that is going to carry that brand into 2019 is going to be Kenny Omega versus AJ Styles. It is certainly a possibility, and it is a feasible option that we need to start discussing, because he was not pictured in that group when the announcement of All Elite Wrestling was made. And again, I am not saying that Kenny Omega is coming to the WWE, that he's going to drop the IWGP Heavyweight Championship on Friday. I'm not saying anything like that, but it's a possibility. Because this year is the best year yet. This is his time to strike while the iron is hot. His stock has never been higher. When he loses that championship, things are going to start being discussed. And WWE is going to be at the forefront of that. If he doesn't take the deal now, he may be missing out on a huge money opportunity. This is Kenny Omega at his highest right now. He is in control. WWE has no Roman Reigns. WWE has failing creative right now to a point where they desperately need something to change, and change needs to come in huge for this company. And that change could be Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega right now has everything going for him in his favor. Roman Reigns going down could have been the best thing to happen for Kenny Omega because he mentioned that he doesn't want to come on in to WWE and just be another guy. He wants to be the guy that they look towards to be the face of this company. And there is no better opportunity than now. I don't know what's going to happen, but the simple fact that he wasn't in that group shot is very telling. Who knows what his plans are? I don't know. But he could win the match on Friday and retain the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And he could show up in Madison Square Garden. And I could be wrong. Everybody could be wrong about what Kenny Omega wants to do. But it's certainly something that needs to be discussed. This All Elite Wrestling is going to be big, man. You know? It's going to be something that we desperately need in a time that we're not getting it. We're getting what we want in NXT, but WWE doesn't even appreciate what NXT is doing for them. So Matt, Nick, and Cody are going out there and are going to do something that we desperately need to happen, or have happen in 2019, and that is bring a brand of professional wrestling back that gives us that old feeling of when we were growing up. And I can't wait to see what they do with it. But it's going to be very interesting to see in the next month or so what decisions are made, who they're bringing on in, what's happening with Kenny Omega. I can't wait to hear about it. It's going to be fun, man. But I wanted to get that off my chest because of what we seen with the Being the Elite show and the announcement being made. All Elite Wrestling is becoming a reality. They're having a press conference to dive more into what's going on with All Elite Wrestling, maybe some roster additions, the Double or Nothing show that I'm sure is happening in the spring. All that's going to be happening in the coming days, so look forward to that. I will be reporting on that with everything that's going on with All Elite Wrestling on Off the Script. Let's talk Monday Night Raw, man. Monday Night Raw was taped on Saturday, I believe, and they aired it on New Year's Eve. Now, the show, like I mentioned, was, it wasn't that bad of a show. I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. It's just, you look at the Monday Night Raw roster, and it's very difficult for me to sit here and tell you that Raw is going to change with the roster that they have. This roster is terrible. I am being upfront and honest with you. This Monday Night Raw roster is awful. There's no one on this roster outside of Seth Rollins that I give a shit about. I don't care about anybody that is on this program. I don't care about anybody that's on this roster. And they need to do something starting next Monday live. And the answer is not Brock Lesnar. The answer is not John Cena. That's not going to change how people think of the show. You're covering up wounds with little rinky-dink Band-Aids, John Cena. Who the fuck cares about John Cena? Brock Lesnar's back. Whoop-de-fucking-do. That's not the change that we need. That's another desperation move, if you ask me, to put a stop to bleeding ratings. It's not the change we want. Fresh change? I don't look at change and see John Cena. They have to get on the ball with proper change. Now, everybody's going to exclude the fucking change, and they're going to give WWE a pass once again because it's Royal Rumble season, and everybody's anticipating the Royal Rumble. I'm not. I have it in the back of my fucking brain. You promise me change, you better be fucking delivering change next week. If not, I'm going to continue to shit on this show like I only can. You don't promise something and then don't deliver. I've mentioned time and time again, this company is well beyond just saying they're going to do something. Matt, Nick, and Cody are doing something. You better fucking have them in the rearview mirror. Monday Night Raw opened up. We didn't get a fucking long-winded 30-minute promo. We didn't get the McMahons in the ring. Monday Night Raw started off with a fucking steel cage match. A steel cage match that all but told me, and I'm sure everybody that watched, Dolph Ziggler is done with the WWE. If I'm Matt and Nick, I'm giving Dolph a call. Bro, you want to come on over? We'll pay you multi-millions. You'll be one of the biggest guys here. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't think Dolph Ziggler stays with the WWE. Last December 31st, the airing of Raw, December 31st, 2018, was the last Dolph Ziggler that we'll ever see on Monday Night Raw. After that beating that Drew McIntyre gave him, the guy's done. The guy's done. Where do you go if you're Dolph Ziggler after that steel cage match? Where do you go? You go nowhere. You go nowhere. A move to SmackDown Live will not help him. Anything on Monday Night Raw is not going to help him. The guy's buried. The guy is dead. Clearly, WWE put all their stock into Drew McIntyre. They paired these two together for the simple fact of getting Drew over, and this is the end result. Dolph Ziggler was fucking buried on Monday Night Raw. As far as steel cage matches go, there really wasn't anything all that exciting about it, but in the end, Drew McIntyre ended up winning. So Ziggler was trying to climb out over the top of the cage, but McIntyre trying to bring him back in. McIntyre clubs Ziggler, stops him from making it over. McIntyre then brings Ziggler back down to the mat with a huge superplex from the top. McIntyre gets up, waits on Ziggler. He is talking a lot of trash, and the trash talking that McIntyre did to Dolph Ziggler is very telling, and I'll get to that in a second. McIntyre grabs Ziggler and launches him headfirst into the cage. McIntyre then goes on about how Ziggler won't get off that easy and how he said that there's not enough room for both of them here. Now, that's very telling in itself as well. That's the second week in a row that Drew McIntyre uttered those same words. This place is not big enough for the both of us. Now, if Ziggler does make a return to Monday Night Raw, it looks like WWE could be setting up Ziggler and McIntyre for what could be a loser leaves town match. Because Dolph Ziggler, I don't know what his contract is. I don't know if he re-upped his contract. I don't know what's going on with that situation. But if WWE does a loser leaves town match, you know what the end result is going to be there. And Dolph Ziggler could definitely be on his way out of the WWE. McIntyre then takes Ziggler and launches him into the steel again. More trash talking. Drew has control up until this point, and then Ziggler suddenly hits a zigzag out of nowhere. Ziggler then starts to ready himself for a super kick, but McIntyre nails a Claymore kick out of nowhere. And McIntyre waits in the corner for Ziggler to get up. He hits him with another Claymore kick, and that is it. Claymore kick is becoming one of my favorite moves in all of WWE. The way he hits it, the intensity of it, it's just a great thing to see. And, you know, WWE has been building that move up. I think they made mention on commentary last night that the Claymore kick is one of the most devastating, if not the most devastating move in all of WWE. They don't say that for any particular reason. So McIntyre is another one of those guys that we have to wait until the 27th. He could very well end up winning the Royal Rumble. And he could go on to challenge Brock Lesnar. I don't know what the fucking Universal Championship match is going to be yet. But after the match, Drew starts to walk out of the cage. McIntyre starts to walk out of the cage. Ziggler is crawling to the ropes. And he is peering through the cage, and he starts yelling at Drew McIntyre. So Drew goes over, grabs a steel chair, and he uses the chair, brings it back in the ring. He places Ziggler's head against the cage and the steel chair. So he sandwiches Ziggler's head in between the cage and the steel chair, and he gives him a Claymore kick on the chair, and he bashes his skull in with the chair, and Ziggler's head goes into the cage. So Drew goes out of the ring, takes a microphone, and says that just in case we didn't know already, he is Drew McIntyre, and he is the king of this Raw jungle. McIntyre tells Ziggler, it didn't have to be this way, but I warned you that I would be coming. Drew says Ziggler doesn't even deserve his scraps. He then goes on to say that the chapter of Ziggler and McIntyre is now finally closed. We can now focus on what really matters. I will win the Royal Rumble, and I will fulfill my destiny finally and win the Universal Championship. That's all he needed to do. Mic drop, it's over. But no, WWE booked Ziggler to look like a fucking bum. McIntyre drops the microphone, he walks away, and he goes back into the ring again. Back into the ring again for another Claymore kick. So on top of the two that he delivered in the match, he delivered another one after the match, leaves, comes back again, and delivers a fourth Claymore kick. You know, I don't like using the term buried, but Dolph Ziggler on Monday Night Raw was fucking buried. If this wasn't Dolph Ziggler's last episode of Monday Night Raw ever, at least for now, I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked. But there is a chance that they could come back because they mentioned, again for a second week in a row, this show's not big enough for both of us. That only means one thing. Loser leaves town. Or loser leaves brand, or whatever the fuck they want to coin it as. But Dolph Ziggler was fucking buried. And I don't know where he goes. All Elite Wrestling is looking pretty damn good right now for Dolph Ziggler. Because, you know, no matter what WWE does or how much money they offer him, Ziggler's the type of guy who he could go anywhere and he could succeed at the highest levels. The guy is too good to be wasted away and be pushed to the side because of WWE not liking his look or WWE not trusting his ability or they don't see anything in him. So go find a company that does see something in you. Clearly they have no plans for you. Move on. And take Zack Ryder with you. Moving on here. We see a limousine pull up. Shane McMahon and Triple H come out. Shane McMahon's wearing very colorful sneakers. Triple H is looking at him as he's dancing around. Triple H looks like he's all business tonight. So we get into the ring and we have Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is in the ring. Rollins says Detroit is fired up tonight. Rollins says he's not big on New Year's resolutions because life moves too fast. Rollins isn't interested in waiting on the ball to drop in Times Square. He's ready to get the party started tonight. He wants his rematch with Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship. Rematch clauses don't exist. The McMahons got rid of that antiquated stipulation. Rematch clauses are no more. So what happens? Triple H is what happens. Triple H comes out and questions how determined and questions where the old Seth Rollins went. This promo was fucking great. And this is exactly what I want to see. And this is why I love Triple H on Monday Night Raw. I look at Triple H and I see someone who's going to bring out the best in somebody. Does it with everybody at NXT. And I love this interaction between Triple H and Seth Rollins. Listen to this promo between these two guys on Raw last night.
It's been a while, Seth. You said something interesting. Fresh start. See, every day that you wake up, you have an opportunity for a fresh start. A fresh start at life, to do anything you want to do. It's never been more true than it is right now here in the WWE. Nothing is going to be handed to anybody anymore. There is going to be no automatic anything. Which is why I'm here to tell you that your automatic rematch for the Intercontinental Championship that you think was going to happen here tonight is not going to happen.
And I'm glad that they're keeping up with that stipulation. Good. Good. Consistency.
And Seth, I gotta be honest with you. I'm not sure you deserve a rematch anyway.
I've been carrying Monday Night Raw on my back for the last year. And you know what? Brock Lesnar was somewhere up in Saskatchewan doing whatever Brock Lesnar does. I was here in this ring every single week, churning out classics with Finn Balor, with Dolph Ziggler, with Mojo Rawley of all people. And you think I'm asking?
Nice little burial there.
You know what? I'm glad you're not handing anything out anymore, because I want to earn my opportunities. What do you want, huh? You want that ruthless bastard? You want that soulless guy who will do whatever it takes to get what he wants? Is that who you want?
He's like,
Yes.
his eyes were like, yeah, motherfucker.
That is exactly what I want, and I want it to start tonight. I want you to burn it all down, starting tonight with the almighty Bobby Lashley.
All right,
Yeah, that's where the promo took a fucking U-turn.
No problem. I will take everything he's got to give, and then I will take everything Dean Ambrose has got to give, including the Intercontinental Championship. And you know what? After that, I'll take anyone who gets in my way. I'll take Brock Lesnar if he gets in my way.
3 Brock Lesnar mentions in this promo, not done by just some wacky circumstance.
And I'll take down
all
your
planted
whole
in there
family
for you guys to just keep in the back of your mind. That was a great fucking promo. Now, I could do without the Bobby Trashley match, because that doesn't really signify new change or new era to me. But that promo was great. Rollins getting to that intensity level, love it, missed it, it's needed. Triple H, his facial expression. Triple H, by the way, one of the best promos of all time. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. The man, when he's got a microphone in his hand, he commands you to listen. That's number one. Number two, the way he was looking at Seth Rollins when Rollins was raising his voice, going on his rant about Brock Lesnar. Triple H's eyes said, yeah, motherfucker, that's who I want. That's who I need on this show. You're one of my... Or his eyes said, you're one of my guys. You're one of my guys. I need you to break away from whatever the fuck is going on here, and I need you to be the Rollins that I remember. Not this pussy who was standing in the shadow of fucking Roman Reigns all summer. That's what we need. Now, I don't know how WWE... Now, the Royal Rumble could be a fresh start for everybody. I'm not saying that they can't do it. But imagine how great Rollins would have been if they never put him with Reigns. They wasted all that momentum. Stop, start. You had it going into Mania. You had it going into SummerSlam. And then, poof, done. Now we have to start all over again on something that should have been there all along, staring you right in the face. At the beginning of the summer, no one was hotter. No one. And now we have to do it all over again. Rollins, Styles, and McIntyre are my top 3 to win the Royal Rumble. And if you're watching this program on a week-to-week basis like I am, you see that. AJ Styles might be, I'd say, out of those 3, at the bottom of the list. Rollins and McIntyre are at the top of the list to win the Royal Rumble. Now, we already went over this. Who do I want out of those 2? Rollins. If Rollins can have a great showing in the Royal Rumble and WWE can give me this version of Seth Rollins and give me the Seth Rollins that we've seen back in the beginning of 2018, coming out of that gauntlet match, being as hot as anybody, carrying the show like he mentioned on his fucking back before you fucked him, that's the Rollins we need. Now, I don't know if WWE is going to be able to do that. The Rumble is going to be very telling. If Rollins has a great Rumble, fantastic. But if he does have a great Rumble, can WWE maintain Rollins to be that consistent going through everybody and getting to WrestleMania? I don't know. I don't trust this company with anything at all. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very fun to see. I hope they don't drop the ball on Seth Rollins. But that promo was absolutely fucking fantastic. Probably the best part of Monday Night Raw last night, overall. Moving on here, man. We had the Battle Royal, the Fresh Start Battle Royal that featured a slew of characters. Finn Balor, Apollo Crews, Zack Ryder, finally making it to Monday Night Raw. Look at that, broski. Titus O'Neil, Kurt Hawkins, Kalisto, Lindsay Dorado, Grand Metalik, Mojo Rawley, Connor, Victor, Bo Dallas, Kurt Axel, No Way Jose, and Baron Corbin. Now, this Battle Royal, you know, I hate Battle Royals. I really do. I think they're very cheesy when WWE does them. And it's something they do a little too often. Okay, I'm tired of the regular, you know, everyman Battle Royal. Everybody's in the ring. I just don't like them. Them and lumberjack matches, I fucking hate. Battle Royals and lumberjack matches, I really do. But this wasn't bad because they did what I mentioned in the beginning of this fucking podcast. They have a direction and they went with it. On this night, they gave Apollo Crews a nice rub and he got a nice reaction for it. I'm not saying that out of these guys, I'd like Apollo Crews to get an Intercontinental Championship match, but if that's the direction and Apollo Crews is your winner here, that I would say opens up for it to being a new direction. This guy has been wasted for 2.5 years on the main roster after being plucked from NXT so prematurely. Now he's finally getting his run. And I wouldn't even call it a run. He's just there because they desperately need something new. They need to give you something new, and Apollo Crews is something new. Now, the Battle Royal ended up being Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin in the end. Now, I don't know why Baron Corbin was one of the ones chosen to be here in the final two. I mean, that's just, you can look at the fucking, the slew of characters here, and you can kind of eliminate everybody else except a Balor or a Corbin. Guys like that. Guys that have been there on the show in major programs. There's no doubt in my mind that those guys would be there at the end. But why Baron Corbin? I don't know why they couldn't give me something new. Apollo Crews ended up winning this thing. Why couldn't you give a rub to Zack Ryder? Why couldn't it be Apollo Crews and Zack Ryder in the end? Why did he have to eliminate Baron Corbin to win the Battle Royal? This is what I want to see. I want to see guys like Zack Ryder getting a fucking opportunity. You should have put Ryder and Cruz in there for a couple of minutes and let them do their thing. But we didn't get that. We got the same old tired garbage with Baron Corbin being eliminated by Apollo Crews. That was the only problem I had with the Battle Royal. The eliminations that Apollo Crews had, he was throwing guys out left and right. He looked like a fucking superstar in there. And I can appreciate that. But the way that they ended it, a little lackluster if you ask me. That doesn't really signify change. Baron Corbin was what was wrong with this show. And then you're going to put him in there as one of the final two guys to get an IC title match? Come on, man. You got to do better than that. You got to do better than that. I would have even taken Mojo Rawley, to be honest with you. Or throw me a surprise. What about No Way Jose? Guy's a fucking bum. But you could have put him in there and made him make it to the end. Do something different. Step outside your comfort zone instead of giving me something that's called the Fresh Start Battle Royal, and in the end, oh look, it's Baron Corbin. Come on, man. Mojo Rawley wins. He eliminates Baron Corbin, and he gets an Intercontinental Championship match. I did not know it would happen later on in the evening, and I'll talk about that when we get to that portion of the show. Elias is in the ring, and he goes on and mentions Kid Rock because they're in Detroit. And he reminds everyone what WWE stands for, the same old shtick. So Elias says, we better believe he's got a song to play tonight, and if Corbin's not going to leave, he needs to silence his cell phone, hold his applause, and most importantly, shut his mouth. So Corbin exits the ring, I'm assuming after the Battle Royal, because he was still lingering around. He was just so heartbroken that he wasn't getting an IC title match. So Corbin exits the ring, and then Elias meets him on the ramp, and then they start brawling. So Corbin sends Elias into the barricade a few times. He sends him over into the crowd. Elias throws a drink in Corbin's face, and they fight near the production area. Elias then takes a production case and rams it into Baron Corbin, smashing him into the barricade. Elias is on top of the case, getting a big pop. This looked, the way that this was shot looked, I would say, I don't want to say it looked new, but for Monday Night Raw standards, it looked fresh. It looked fresh, the way that they shot this thing. So I gotta give kudos to, you know, he made this look good. And he made it seem like it wasn't a generic Monday Night Raw skit. The way that they shot it. Looked good. So he's getting a big pop. He's standing on top of the production case. Elias is fighting Corbin to the back to the ringside area. Corbin stumbles around and retreats up the ramp. And Elias stands tall at ringside, points out to a sign that says Elias is Bay. And no, this was not a woman holding this sign. This was some fat, geeky slob with glasses who was holding an Elias is Bay sign. Wow. Yeah, that's something that should be reserved for a Toni Storm or a Bianca Belair or something like that. No, Elias is Bay. I don't know how they're raised or what's in the fucking water in Detroit, but to each his own. Whatever. Oh my goodness, man. Nothing says fresh start like the Riot Squad versus Bayley, Sasha, and Ember Moon. Give me a fucking break. Man, they couldn't help themselves, right? Like 48 episodes of Monday Night Raw every fucking week, right? Maybe outside of 4 weeks, we've seen this fucking match. They start the year off with, I guarantee you look on the first episode of Monday Night Raw in 2018, this was the fucking match. Guarantee it. I'm afraid to go back and look. I am. Couldn't help themselves. They got to put this match on for the last show of the year, right? Ember Moon. Now, it's a rotation of fucking characters. 1 week it's Mickie James, 1 week it's Natalya, 1 week it's fucking Alicia Fox, Dana Brooke. They ran through everybody. Who's next? Mrs. Claus is on vacation. Fucking ridiculous, Ember Moon. This is the best you got with Ember Moon. And listen, I know you guys don't want to hear it. Ronda had a great year. Ronda Rousey had a great year. Rookie of the Year for WWE in 2018. She's going to get even better in 2019. I wholeheartedly believe that. But this is the product. And I don't want to hear from anybody, man. Don't at me. Don't at me on this. This is the product of WWE putting the title on Ronda Rousey. This is the product. You handcuffed your entire division to put the title on Ronda Rousey. Now, we're going to get some great matches out of it, and we've gotten great matches out of it. We got, right now, the best storyline in WWE with Ronda as Raw Women's Champion battling Charlotte and Becky Lynch. But this is what happens when you put the title on Ronda to get her to WrestleMania, and no one else has anything else to fight for. They have nothing to fight for. Nothing. And Sasha Banks tweeted out a picture of the Revival. I don't know if it was hours before the show or early in the morning on New Year's Eve, but it simply stated, in 2019, Tag Team Champions. Revival's getting a shot at Roode and Gable next week. What a way to fucking kick off their new year. I hope it happens. But the fact that she put in 2019 Tag Team Champions and she's there photographed with Bayley. Will you just get these women the tag team titles already so we can see more Riot Squad versus Bayley and Sasha Banks matches? Maybe at that point they'll mean something. I doubt it. But this is the product of WWE banking everything on Ronda Rousey and giving her the Raw Women's Championship. Ember Moon and Ruby Riott and Sasha Banks have absolutely nothing to fight for. And WWE's handcuffed. They cannot pick another woman on this roster until Ronda loses the title. They can't. This is why I'd give Ronda a fucking vacation until WrestleMania. You can't do it. You can't feed her Sasha. You can't feed her Bayley. You can't feed her Ember Moon because everybody that's not named Becky or Charlotte is undoubtedly 1,000% going to lose. So I don't know what the fucking point is. Everybody wants Ember Moon to get a push. Really? You want Ember versus Ronda. What do you think the outcome is going to be? It's a fucking waste of time. So they're just biding their time. Waiting. Ember Moon in these meaningless fucking matches with Nia Jax and Tamina every other week. And now this. They have to wait. But by that time, when it's all over, is anyone going to fucking care? That's the issue. Who won this match? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. What does it mean to you at the end of the fucking day? Huh? What does it mean to you? Do you want to know who won? I don't give a fuck. I'm not telling you who won, because I don't give a shit. Seth Rollins versus Bobby Trashley. Here we go. Fresh start, new change. Nothing sells me on new change like Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley. Fuck out of here. Rollins is going for the stomp. Lio Rush gets involved because that's what Lio Rush does. That's what a heel does, apparently. Can't hit the stomp. Lio Rush stops him. This allows Lashley to hit a spine buster and get a 2 count. Rollins slides out of a power move that Bobby Lashley was going to do, whether it was going to power slam or a suplex or something. I don't fucking remember. More back and forth between these guys. Rollins kicks him in the face. Rollins goes to the top rope for a big splash, but Rush interferes again, allowing Lashley to roll out of the way and avoid a frog splash. Rollins comes down and chases Rush around. Rollins finally catches Rush and takes him out on the outside. Rollins then grabs a steel chair and hits Lashley with it, I guess out of frustration because of what Lio Rush did. And in the end, the referee calls for the bell and Bobby Lashley wins by DQ. So I guess Seth Rollins is not getting his Intercontinental Championship match because he didn't beat the almighty Bobby Trashley. A guy who couldn't bring a smile out of my 99-year-old grandmother, Bobby Trashley. Guy's a fucking charisma vacuum if I ever seen. And here's the first Raw review of the year. More Bobby Trashley fucking remarks. You put a trash can in the ring and you put a headband around it. I guarantee you it would be more over than Bobby Trashley. Guy is fucking terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. Moving on here. Nothing sells me on new change and new direction than seeing Jinder Mahal with the Singh brothers on Monday Night Raw. This roster is fucking terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. Rhino and Heath Slater versus Mahal and the Singh brothers. Mahal and the Singh brothers win. Who cares? This was meaningless television time, needed to be filled. Dean Ambrose versus Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental. I don't know why they didn't save this for next week's show. But why are they putting this on now after he just won a Battle Royal? Like, I don't understand why they didn't save it and make next week's show even bigger. We got a tag team title match. We got Brock Lesnar coming back. We got John Cena. We got an Intercontinental Championship match. Build it for the next show. I don't understand the rush mentality of this company. Was there any reason to give me this title match on the same night in which Apollo Crews won the Battle Royal? That's not the way I would have booked it. I would have let this marinate and simmer for a little bit. So we get into next week and we anticipate a title match. Oh, look, Apollo Crews won. Now he's got a title match waiting for him. I wonder what he's going to do next week. No, we just give it away. Unadvertised. Here we go. Fuck out of here, man. What is this? Why? It's not like they made Apollo Crews look good. They started off making him look good, but then he ends up losing. I didn't expect him to beat Dean Ambrose, but Jesus fucking Christ. At least build some intrigue and let the guy fucking, have a smile going into next week. How does it feel winning a Battle Royal, knowing that he's ultimately going to lose an Intercontinental Championship match? There's his fresh start. Back of the line, Mr. Apollo Crews. Come on, man. Crews tossed Ambrose over his head. Crews with a splash in the corner. He then presses Ambrose high, but Ambrose gets out with the good old rake to the eyes. Crews then blocks Dirty Deeds. He hits Ambrose with an enziguri, and he hits him with a sit-out powerbomb, but Ambrose grabbed the rope. The sit-out powerbomb, that is his finishing move. He had the crowd. I knew he wasn't going to win with that because Ambrose was way too close to the ropes, and Ambrose is a professional. He's the champion. So obviously he grabbed the rope. Good ring awareness there by Dean Ambrose. Ambrose then rolls to the floor for a breather because that's what heels do. Crews runs the ropes and leaps out, taking him out. He looked good. But in the end, what does it matter if he lost? Back to the line, Apollo Crews. Crews brings it back in. He goes for the frog splash, but Ambrose moves out of the way, and he nails Dirty Deeds as he gets up. 1, 2, 3. Ambrose retains the IC title. So, we go backstage after this lackluster Intercontinental Championship match that they should have saved for next week. And we go backstage, and Alexa Bliss, cringeworthy on my screen, says that she made history with the women's division in short time. Sure you did, honey. Sure you did. Nothing about what you did lends itself to being evolutionary. Love making all the Alexa Bliss smarks out there, cry me a few tears. Roman's tears, the Roman Reigns fans' tears, they hydrate me. Same thing goes for Alexa Bliss. Now, on Monday Night Raw next week, I know this is WWE preparing us for one of those things where we kind of know when we're going to change the channel. Or we know when we're going to go to the kitchen and get ourselves a snack, or go to the restroom and take a little break. WWE announced next week that Alexa Bliss will have her own talk show, because there isn't enough of them on WWE TV. What do we do with an injured wrestler that we still need to push on TV? Oh, that's right, we'll give them a talk show. How many fucking talk shows? You got the KO show, right? You got Miz TV. You got True TV. This is a waste of fucking time. Alexa Bliss having her own TV show called A Moment of Bliss? How does this signify change? The woman is hurt. She lends nothing to storylines. Get her off TV and let her just go through what she's got to go through to get better, and put her in the Royal Rumble if she's ready to go. Nobody wants to see Alexa Bliss on TV. Nobody's going to be scrambling to watch A Moment of Bliss next week on Monday Night Raw. In fact, it's doing the show worse by being there. Nobody fucking learns in this company. Then you have the idiots eating this shit up. Oh, Alexa Bliss is hot. I love Alexa Bliss. Really? What purpose does she serve being on television? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Ronda Rousey and Natalya. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Versus Tamina and Nia Jax. Well, man, what a main event to close out 2018, man. I could barely contain myself. Nia Jax. The only thing I will say about this match is Nia Jax is a fucking clown. Nia Jax is a fucking clown. Apparently, WWE tweeted out that the women brought it in 2018. Photographed in this tweet was Charlotte and, I guess, Becky Lynch, it looks like. Or Charlotte and Ronda. We got Carmella, Becky, and the Iconics. So, those women, I don't even know why the fucking Iconics are there. I don't know why Carmella's there. But these women have all one thing in common, according to Nia Jax. They are white women. So, again, we got Charlotte, Ronda, Becky, the Iconics, and Carmella. Now, apparently, Nia Jax took issue with this tweet and said that, women of other color deserve to be there as well. So, I don't know how this turned into a race thing, but she mentioned that women of other color should have been featured in this one meaningless tweet by WWE. I don't know how or where she was going with this, or how this matters to anybody about who's in this fucking photograph. So, Ty Dillinger pretty much threw her under the bus and said, and I quote, "All the WWE ladies had a great year, but these ones had some very captivating moments in 2018. And if you're all boo-boo face about being left off this list, despite being on TV all the fucking time, maybe spend some more time on the craft instead of social media." Yeah, Nia, you fucking clown. Nia Jax, how many title matches has Nia Jax gotten this year? Are you fucking kidding me? She got a title match against Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania. God awful. She was the first woman to fight Ronda Rousey this year. What else do you fucking want? And then you got Ronda Rousey twice in 1 year, when other women haven't gotten Ronda in the ring at all. At all. You factored into everything woman-wise on Monday Night Raw, and you're complaining that you weren't acknowledged here? Maybe they didn't acknowledge you for a specific reason. Maybe you're fucking awful. And everything that you did this year was not captivating. Not captivating in any way. And yes, go work on your fucking craft, because you are absolutely god-awful. God-awful. If there's one thing I want in 2019, it's to see less of Nia Jax. Who won the match? Do I give a shit? I don't give a fuck. Ronda Rousey and Natalya won. Ronda Rousey put Tamina Snuka in an armbar. God-awful, by the way, it looked. Terrible. Tamina Snuka didn't know what the fuck was coming. Why this woman is in the ring, why this woman is employed, is beyond me. She's terrible. I might think differently when they bring the tag team titles to WWE. Maybe Tamina and Nia Jax will rub me the right way. But right now, I don't know why these women are in main events on Monday Night Raw. Once again, a product of Ronda Rousey handcuffing the entire division with the Raw Women's Championship. This is the product. Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka in the fucking main event. Who's Nia Jax, or who's Ronda Rousey going to be defending the Raw Women's Championship at the Royal Rumble against? I don't know. At this point, I wouldn't even make a fucking title match. Just book her at WrestleMania and boom, get it over with. That's your Monday Night Raw review. If you guys enjoyed the review, let me know what you guys think down below. And I will be back tonight for SmackDown Live. Apparently, I hear it's a very good show. So we got a big fatal 5-way tonight to determine Daniel Bryan's #1 contender for the WWE Championship. We'll go over that and everything that happens on SmackDown Live tonight. Beware. Beware. There is no NXT review tomorrow. I have. Going up early, I'm going to edit it and finish it today. About an hour and a half podcast. There is the best and worst of WWE and my top 10 matches going up all in one video, man. So it's going to be about an hour and a half. Going to upload it early in the day so you guys get it. And there will be no NXT review because there really isn't much going on with NXT tomorrow. There is going to be an award show that they're going to do. They're going to highlight the best moments. They'll probably do a lot of video packages. And then Matt Riddle versus Cassius Ohno is the only match that's taking place tomorrow. So I'll be back with NXT once they hit the new set of tapings, getting ready for TakeOver Phoenix the following week, man. So just letting you guys know that I have an off-the-script special going up tomorrow, best of 2018, my top 10 matches of 2018. So look forward to that tomorrow, man. Thank you guys so very much. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you guys tonight for SmackDown Live. I'll talk to you guys then.